Sean, Paul, Janice, you guys are on time. As normal. Does the AV sound good? You don't have to behave in here, Janice. I was almost late because I had one of my big plecos freak out back here. Don't know what it was about, but I realized if you guys have been watching my videos, I got Night Crew to send me some lights I'm doing reviews on. And I think maybe the one light might be too bright for him, but I can turn that down. I got to mess with the settings, but he freaked out. So I was just making him a cave out of rocks so he had a place to hide, get out of that light till I get it. That light right there, I am having trouble figuring out how to program it with the controller, but I got all the other ones. Can everybody hear me okay? AV sound good? It's good to see you, everybody. Yeah, you know what? Obviously I like the way he streams. I always have a lot of fun in his live streams, but I also, for me, I find I have a hard time working in tanks while trying to have a live stream. He's mastered it, but I like sitting here one on one and chatting with you guys. Okay, thanks, Paul. Thanks, Janice. I had a different subject for this stream, but I was in here this morning just sitting down watching some of my fish, and a different subject I'd like to talk about popped in my head, and that is any of us that have multiple aquariums and we're keeping fish and we're trying things and we're rescaping and we're always got our hands on our tanks, right? When I sat down here, I just sat down with some coffee and was looking at my tiger barb tank and just watching the fish. Sometimes I think it's very easy to stop enjoying your fish because you're always trying to get into other things and keeping yourself changing stuff and trying stuff. Maybe you got something to review and you're doing that, or you're thinking about your next video. So that's the subject I was more leaning towards for this stream. Are we taking times to sit down and enjoy our tanks and watch our fish for why we keep the fish? Hey, Bunny, good to see you. BC, Boots Cats came in. Hello, how are you? Is the lighting too bright? I'm messing with lighting. I got one of those cheap Bauer LED lights that you can play with. Let me know what you guys think looks better, okay? Hey, Fishy on, glad to see you, buddy. Hey, Sketty. Sketty. So you guys let me know which lighting looks better. This is straight up white LEDs, and they are maxed out in brightness. Then we got a mix of warm and white lights. I historically used this setting right here. I'll go slow. Hey, Swiffle, I said hello to you on your stream there a little bit ago. Okay, Sketty likes the mix. And then there's all just warm, natural lighting. And then we're back to this straight white. So you guys like the mix. That one was my favorite too. But we can also call the cops. When you can do this with your eyebrows, you look like a demon. I look like Hellboy. Green. There's one that'll... Oh, I missed it. This one just changes different colors. The cops, shit. Shoot, the cops are outside the house. This thing does all kind of stuff. All right, back to the mix. I'm blinding myself. All I see is LED colored lights. Glad everybody's rolling in. It's good to see everybody. I always enjoy my mornings with you guys. So this is the mix between the white lights and the warm lights. I think that one looks better too. So back to what I was talking about. I know not everybody is pounding videos out and doing reviews and at the same time maintaining your tanks and your family life and your work life. But I think once you're doing that much, you have a tendency to stop sitting down and actually enjoying your aquariums and watching your fish, which is important. I put a video out about this subject a while back and the importance of actually sitting down and enjoying the hobby for what it is. Not only because that's the main reason we keep the fish, for the enjoyment, but it also is a great way to go around, sit down, look at all your fish and observe them. It's a great way, a troubleshooting method to make sure all your fish are happy and healthy. They're not sick and coming down with everything. It's very easy to miss a diagnosis because you're overlooking them or not taking the time to sit down and enjoy your fish. You might sit down and watch them and say, oh, what's that? What's that red bump? Or, oh man, he's got a little fungus building up on his fin. So that's another reason why it's important to sit down and enjoy your fish and just to observe them, monitor them, make sure they're good to go. They're not like acting weird. Do you guys, anybody that, is working and has multiple tanks and worrying about creating content in the family life, have you guys ever found that to be an issue? Do you guys take the time to enjoy your fishing tanks? Hey, Alex, thanks for coming in. Alex coming in from Facebook. Thanks, Swiffle. Appreciate that. And Paul says run. So which light looks best with my chocolate cake? Chocolate cake. I love it. Fish John says, I'm going through that because I'm a PhD right now. I'm focusing on the baby axolotl. Fishion, you're getting your PhD. Is that what you were telling me? Or you already have it? I have a problem with Mambuna tank. I think the tank boss is killing fish. Yeah. Well, Swiffle, right behind me, if I adjust this, you might be able to see my Mambuna tank here. And you've probably seen them in my videos. Aggression is not, maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. But aggression is just one of the things. I don't have an issue with that in tanks where they chase each other a lot, but it's not to the point that they're killing each other. And it's an overstocked 75 gallon. But I feel like because I have a lot of Texas Holy Rock in there, they all have a place to claim for their own. And it breaks the line of sight. I run a power head for more distraction, which kind of acts like a dither fish. It gives them something else to do, something else to think about. And the fact that it's overstocked mitigates the aggression. I don't have any aggression issues in my tank. So do you have any kind of them setups going on in your Mambuna tank? Sorry, no texting from me till after 10. Take care of fish streams. Okay, Sketty. Sketty, if you didn't know, and for everybody in here, I did already schedule it on the Fish Fam calendar. I will be doing I scrapped the Salient Serenity live stream on Thursdays. It just wasn't performing well. And I changed it to, it's just going to be like a regular stream like this that I'll also be doing on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. I wanted to be able to stream at different times so I can get different groups of people. And just like cases like Sketty here and her and a lot of others, they're just not morning people. So I wanted to catch people in the evening too. So make sure you hit the bell on my channel so you see when I go live on Tuesdays. You need to watch the tank and see what's going on. Exactly, man. Just sit down and watch. You're going to have to sit there. I mean, everybody's fish are different, but if you're going to sit down and observe your tanks to try to find a problem, you might not want to sit too close. You might want to sit back a little bit, because obviously if you come up to the glass, you're going to like, oh, food, and they'll be distracted by that. Nothing will happen. So, maybe sit back at a distance and just watch them, type of thing. What do you think about that? Hey, Michael, thanks for coming in. Good to see you. I do look at them as soon as I put the lights on. Okay, Janice. Professional house dad. I never heard it put that way. PhD. Hey, I was talking to Tommy, Silver Creek Aquatics, about how it has turned into a woman's world. Yes, men build it. 90% of the workforce is men that keeps the world maintained, running, and built. But as times changed, and with, women coming up, and they're doing a lot more things now, and a lot of them are fantastic at what they do. And when women come into the workforce, they have a lot less, especially nowadays, harassment and anything like that. That stuff is out the door. And if anybody even thinks about it now, they're going to get locked up, put in jail, you name it, which is great. Tommy was saying, and I don't think he'd mind me saying, that he stays at home like you and takes care of the house, takes care of the kids, and his wife goes to work because she can make more money than him. I like going to work every day. I'm the kind of guy that has to keep myself busy, or I get like bored. I start pulling out power tools and fixing stuff that's not broken. But if my wife could go out and make more money than me, I gladly stay home and swap her places. And I think she would be happy too, because she's been a stay-at-home housewife and mom for most of her life. And I'm sure she gets to the point where she's bored of doing this stuff all the time. And I'm sure she'd like the break, doing something different, going out and making the money. I've been working since I've been 15. I'm ready I'll swap places. I got pics of that last fish killed. Many red spots on rear area. Yeah, now Swift, I can't say that I never had that problem, but I had one single problem when I set my Mbuna tank up, where I think I started with 10. And the one, they bullied the crap out of him. They had his fins down to a nub. Well, I pulled him out and I put him in a 29-gallon QT tank, like a vacation tank, and let him chill. Put some salt in there. I think I may even treat it with some meds like fin and body. And I let him chill in there for like a month. And then when I decided, okay, he's healed up, I don't want to put him back in that tank, I put him over there in my 125 community tank. And, Mbunas are supposed to be aggressive, but not every fish is aggressive. It's relative to any situation. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And they have different personalities just like people. I put them in there, and there's angelfish in there. There's glowfish that I rescued from the community in there, plecos. There's a Cory cat. There's a large pleco, blood parrots, pictus cats, and a few other fish. He keeps to himself in there. He's cool. He's happy. He doesn't bother anybody. And his fins just grown back, and he just loves it. I can't spend much time in all my tanks, but I try to spend time on one or two each day and rotate between them. Yeah, that's right. I got you on that, Boots Cats. But you're still spending time with them. You're sitting down, watching them, not always working in them, type of thing. Losing one fish per month. Yeah, okay, you got a boss in there. So from what I understand, if you have a boss in that tank that's killing fish, that's not a good boss. That's not a good leader. A good boss in a tank will actually try to stop fights. If you have a tank, a cichlid tank like that, and you got a fish that's killing other fish, he's not a boss. He's what you call a jerk. And there's no fixing that. So if you've tried all the other methods of reducing aggression and he's still doing it, the only thing you can do is figure out who the boss fish is, who the jerk is, and you're going to have to pull him out, and you're going to have to, you can either try to put him in another tank by himself for 2 weeks. It is said after 2 weeks, he forgets his place in the hierarchy. And when you put him back in the tank, He's like at the bottom of the totem pole again. I've heard that works. I've heard it doesn't work. You can try that last method, and if that doesn't work, you're going to have to either just put him in a tank by himself or with another fish that has equal aggression that will put him in his place. And if none of that works, you're probably just going to have to maybe take him to a local pet store or something, or give him to somebody who's willing to take him. I was heavily stocked, lowered stock. Yes, Wiffle. And I don't care what anybody says, but again, it is relative to each situation. I don't know if you can see, and if you've watched my videos, this 75-gallon Abuna tank is highly overstocked. You see how many are in there? They're pounding babies out left and right now. They will chase each other into them, but they don't kill each other. They leave the little ones alone. I have no aggression issues in this tank, and there is way too many fish in there. Is that because I don't have as much aggression? I think it's definitely a part of the reason why. That, and I got a lot of line breaks, a lot of places to hide, the power head, like I discussed. Maybe you're getting low on your stock now, and they have more time to focus on any one fish. When you have more fish, it's a distraction. They don't have time to just focus on one fish. There's too much action. There's too much going on. Hey, Tommy, I was just talking about you, buddy. Right now, I'm at swim therapy for my son. Stay really busy. My son is moderate to severe on the spectrum. I try to watch everyone I can, but you get forgotten. Oh no, I get that. Understand that, fishy on life first, man. Absolutely. I can't remember who I was talking to. I was in Everyday Fish Keeping, Dan's live last night, and Gabriel was in there, and he asked if I watched his videos yet, and I've been meaning to get over there and watch his videos. I told him I try, man. I'm the type of guy that wants to support everybody and come into their live streams and watch all their videos from beginning to end and give comments, but it's impossible realistically to do that for everybody. So all you can do is just pick at it and do what you can. It's all appreciated either way. Now aggression. So before you said, I was heavily stocked, lowered stock, now aggression. Yeah, that could be Swiffle. Like I was saying, you got less fish, and Bunas are said to be aggressive, right? And the less you have in there, the more time they have to pick on and single any one fish out. I hate missing your show. That's great. That's okay, Sketty. I got you, but like I said, if the 9 a.m. ones don't work for you, I am starting to go live on Tuesday in the evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. So maybe that's more conducive for you. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Good to see you. I'm glad Jeff likes me enough to come to my live streams. Swiffle was live streaming this morning, and it was really cool because he had a cone set up, and his angelfish were about to lay eggs, rather. And they were over there picking at the little breeding cone. And he said in there they were doing that to prep the surface area. They clean it before they lay eggs, and I thought that was really neat. Like a mother going there cleaning the tray off of the baby's food tray before he eats. It was really cool to watch that. Nobody gets hurt anymore. I use the Zohan example. Oh, the Adam Sandler movie. Or I put a short out a while back, The Angry Fist, if you've seen that. Yeah, Tommy's always busy. He's always getting into something, planting. He's got the homestead going, the garden, school, helping my, school his kids and things like that. He's always got a lot going on. It's hard to fit everything in, and that's something else you got to think about. When I started my YouTube channel 2 years ago, I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I do. And as time went by, I'm making videos. Okay, now you're editing them, which I enjoy editing videos. I really have fun doing that. But it can consume you if you don't put it in check real quick. I was doing 2, 3, 4 videos a day until I finally got to that sweet spot where I want to do one video a week I'll do shorts all week long and then a live stream. Well, now I'm busting that up to 2 live streams. So, you got to weigh that out with your life, your job, and everything else going on. Crap comes up. But, I think we're an awesome community here because I see all you guys in lives all the time. You're in my live streams. We support everybody. I think we all got a good situation going, juggling everything. And I think we do well to help each other out. Plus, we enjoy it. We love chatting with people. I certainly enjoy it. You're exactly like my husband. I woke up and he's gone somewhere. He can't stand still. Yeah. I gotta, Janice, everyone talks about retirement and hitting retirement. I know that I will work till the day I die. Retirement sounds very boring to me. If I'm the kind of guy that if I was retired and I was staying at home all the time outside of puttering around the house and doing things, my wife would most likely divorce me. What are you doing? Where are you going? What do you want to do today? What's your plans? Come on. What are you going to do? Let's go do this. You missed the rave party earlier, Tommy. Aquarium Delirium, good to see you, sir. I saw your comment on my white video. You got a couple of those night crew lights. Very cool. I had a couple used night crew lights that were on their last leg. They were dying, but they were older. Little damage to them, but they were still working. Since Night Crew sent me these lights, these are actually the first time I've used technically their newest modern lights, and I got to tell you, they're amazing. They are super bright. The only thing that I can say as far as the Night Crew lights go at this point, the only con to them that I can see so far is the programming of them. I think the programming of the Night Crew lights, and it seems to be consistent with all of them, are a little bit overly complicated, a little more complicated than it should be. You can figure it out once you understand how they work. It's nothing, but for somebody who's just got the light and they're figuring it out, the programming can be a little confusing. Now, if you're just going to program the Night Crew lights just to do their default setting, their default day and night cycle, really not that hard. But if you want to adjust it and customize it, it's a little bit harder of a process to get down. And then, even when you want to dim the lights, you have to go into certain processes so they're not real bright. I've had to dim them all down. They're a bright light. I'm happy with them. I was just hoping they could maybe make it a little less complicated. Like 3 of the lights I got have an inline controller, and they also come with a remote. But you can program both of them. Now, I like that feature because maybe you lost the batteries to the remote. Maybe the remote broke. Maybe you lost the remote. You can still run your light, which is great. But it's like, can we not have to use 2 and 3 buttons and hold it for this many seconds and then click over here and up, down, left, and right with a 60-foot 15 flathead screwdriver and maybe condense that down to 1 or 2 buttons? Let me know what you think about that, Aquarium Delirium. Do you think they're a little bit more complicated than they have to be for programming? Because I'm going to need all this input on my because I got 3 more reviews to make on these lights. So I like hearing input on anybody that's used Night Crew lights. Let me know your thoughts on them. My female pea puffer killed everything until I put her with my flagfish. Got along great. Yeah, Fish Yarn, you got to find that balance sometimes. I think you guys have heard me talk about it before with this big pleco I have. He was just messing everybody up. My goldfish, because I had him, put him in there with the Jack Dempsey. Great balance. Hey, Tim, Freshwater Tank. Good morning. I think I just call you Tim's, if that's okay with you. Wet Socks is in. Fluffy. Morning. Good morning. I keep forgetting to check out Gabriel too. Yeah, it's not that I forget. I always have him in the back of my mind. I like Gabriel, but it's just like we discussed. Everything's going on. It's hard to get everything done. That's right. Sketty likes to do her FF, fast forward. Robert, who is? Oh, here we go. Robert, hey buddy, thanks for coming in. I didn't even see you pop in there. May I stream your stream on my live stream? LOL. May I stream your stream on my live stream? Yes, well, you can do whatever you like. I'm still confused by it because you think you did that last time. I think while you're streaming, you got mine playing in the background or something. That and many can't afford to retire anymore, but I'd never stop either way. I've been here. Jesse just wasn't able to chat for a few minutes. Okay, Tommy, cool. Yeah, you're right. You can't afford to unless you have. It used to be said if you had about $1 million in your 401k, you could retire. I bet you have to double that now. Good morning, Big Steve. Good to see you. I will work until I'm dead. I would just prefer it was on my tanks. I have people enough for my lifetime. Yeah, Jeff, I can understand that. You was in the military and all that. You probably had your. And it's funny, Jeff. The older I get, the less tolerant of people I am. I'm an impatient person as it is, but when I go to the store and I got to get something or whatever the case may be, I see solutions. It seems like before most people do. That's down to driving. That's just like going to the store and getting something. I'm looking at them, like, for example, like someone goes up to check out. How much is that? Oh, okay. Now we're reaching down to get our wallet. Oh, where's that card? I got to find the right one. I'm back here. Because if it was me, I'm up there with wallet in hand, ready to go. Boom, put it in. Let's get out of here. Boom. I'm the same way with driving, same way with everything I do. Boom, boom, boom. I just see ahead 2 or 3 steps. I know what I got to do, and I'm prepared for it. Most people I've running into are slow. They have real slow processing speeds, and it just makes my skin crawl because I'm like, just give me that. Let me do it for you. But I get it. Not everybody's in a hurry. I get it. The Higer ones are weird to program, but once you did it a couple times, it's easier. But still, definitely not standing up type job. Take a seat, and it'll be a minute. Yeah, exactly, Tommy. It's like I've got 3 of the Fluval Aqua Skies in here. Those are all app driven. Up, you're done. If you lose power, all you have to do is log on to the app. It automatically remembers and takes over. Boom. Now you're also spending triple the price for those lights that you are these Night Crew lights, and who needs name brand? These Night Crew lights are great so far. Aquarium Delirium said he's got a couple of them, and they're going on 2 years and still working great. So I got a little bit of input for them as far as longevity goes and durability. But I like their biggest light. They even sent me their biggest top of the line light they have. It's like $75. It's called the Sky 2.0, and it comes with I can't remember that one's a remote or a controller, but it'll go up to 60 inches for $75, fully planted, full spectrum, fully programmable for $75. It makes the tank look great. It gives that blue-white hue that everybody likes. If you want that, for $75, a light like that at Fluval, you're probably looking at $280. I'm more like a lobotomized sloth. It's amazing I haven't fused it to the furniture. melted into the chair. We were talking about sloths over there on Gina. I think it was Gina's live stream earlier in the week. I like sloths. Gotta go happy fishing. All right, Swivel. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate you. I'd rather just had a multi-phone app. It is nice, Aquarium. If I could afford it, I'd put an Aqua Sky on all these tanks and just link them to one app. Do whatever you like. You can rename them. You can switch over to manual on that app or auto. But You just can't beat the prices for what you get with these Night Crew lights. You just can't. Because what if the app crashes? The ones I use are plain day night lights. Okay. So now Tommy's here. He's a busy guy. Maybe, I don't know if you heard what I was talking about earlier about actually taking time to sit down and enjoy your tanks and your fish, or are you too busy with making content, doing YouTube, doing the job, taking care of your homestead and stuff? Do you actually have time to sit down and watch your fish and enjoy your fish? One has started to play up, and I can't change the setting. Starts on night blue, but I have a manually change each day, but after a month it corrects itself. Okay, yeah, that sounds like an internal problem with the circuitry for sure. And I think that was after 2 years that you would have had that problem, right? Used to be, that means in the past. By the time I retire, I doubt anything will even be there. I've been saying that for years, especially after 2008, then last year with the hikes, right? Anyway, sorry, not trying to get in the bus right now. So anyway, sorry, not trying to get in that bus right now. Oh, I got you. Oh, wow. Hey, JC. Good to see you. Coming over from Facebook. How are you doing? You got a good life going for you and your family, Tommy. Yeah, he does. He does a lot of work. He does cool stuff over there. Good morning, fish folks. Working on program at 2 a.m. amateur radio. Oh, cool, fish. Good. Thanks for coming in, Jeff. I've seen the Sky 2.0, never out of the box, though. Def makes it easy with programming, but I'd rather save the money and spend the extra 2 minutes to manually do it, even my program ones. The price difference is immense, Tommy. Like I said, I think Fluval's biggest light at PetSmart's like $280 versus $75. Come on. Santa, how does the app compare to the Fluval app? Does it have an hourly adjustments? How does the app compare to the Fluval app? So all you do, Jeff, I can actually show you. I can bring my iPad in and show you what it looks like. I've been so busy, I haven't really been doing content out of shorts. I'm getting closer to having some more time, but I still have enough to keep a crew busy for a month, but doing it myself, I got you on that. Let me grab that app, Jeff, and I can show you. All right, man. Let me see how we do this. So you install it on your device. You see here, that's the one. It's called Fluval Smart. You tap it when it comes up. You can rename all the lights, and you just tap on which one you want, right? So you can kind of see the 75-gallon Mbuna tank behind me, and over here here is the Tiger Barb tank. I have one of these lights on each of those. The 75-gallon looks like it'll be a better choice, so I'll tap on 75-gallon Mbuna tank. It connects to it, and right there is where you can set all your programming. You can literally, and it's all in military time, by the way. So is the Night Crew lights. It's all done by military time. You got your sunrise, daylight, sunset, night, and sleep. You can adjust their full spectrum. You can adjust the percentages for every one of the color LEDs. So your reds, your blues, your whites, your greens. You can adjust each one, a percentage, excuse me, on each one of those. You can also adjust. So how I have mine set is from 7 to 8 a.m. is my sunrise. So it slowly ramps up from 7 to 8 in the morning until sunlight, right? And then during the daylight, I turned everything down to 33% because the light was really bright. I didn't want algae issues. And too much of bright light too long for some fish can drive them crazy. How would you like to be blazing light all day long? You know what I mean? So I've got all my colors, and you can play with it. You know, and if you have a planted tank, you're going to want to play with those color spectrums a little bit. I just put them all at 33% because that's what looked good. And you can see how bright it still is. And then my sunset goes from 1900 to 2000. And it slowly ramps down. And then you got nighttime, which the only thing I have on is a 1% moonlight blue light. And then at midnight, no lights at all, sleep. Now, another cool thing is, up here at the top, you have some options. It's manual, auto, and pro. I'm assuming the pro is something you can buy, do other things. I don't do that. But if you hit manual, you hit manual, well, it just changed in there because I set it to manual. But you can go in and just play with all these like here. Of course, these will be like your presets, power on and off, and then you can adjust all the color spectrums here. As soon as you hit auto, boom, the light goes right back to auto. It takes over itself. Let's look at this one here. I think it's the Tiger Barb tank. Same thing, looks the same way, but if you hit manual, you get a straight up remote where you can do all your settings. And this is what it looks like. There are 3 different types of Fluval Aquasky lights, so they're set up a little bit different. But you see, you get like a stinking straight up remote, which will do anything you're used to on a regular remote on a light. Presets, moonlights, simulating weather, adjusting all your colors, up and down intensity. And as soon as you hit auto, boom, it goes right back. If I lose power, all I have to do is come home, open the app, and it, boom, or touch the light, takes right back over. I don't know if that helped you any. If more add-ons for Tommy. I don't like Corey. Like, yeah, Janice, I've heard that, and I've seen that myself. I seen it when I was watching Ben Ochart's video when he started getting affiliated with Aquarium Co-op, and they sent him all lights to put on his tanks. They were kind of yellowish. They got that natural look. I don't like yellow natural. I like my white daylight LED lights. The Fluval I have. Is there a Night Crew app? Nope. Oh, Jeff, no, I'm sorry. No, there's no app for Night Crew. You manually control everything, but that's part of the reason why they can reduce the cost of their lights. Let me touch one, Sketty. Better yet, let's check it with the temp gun. Now, they are pretty warm to touch, but let's see what it is. Hold on. So on the RGBW light they sent me on the 75 gallon over here, it's pretty hot, and my temp gun says 111 degrees. Now the Sky 2.0 and the classic LED one they sent me, they're at like 88 degrees and 74 degrees. That one actually is pretty dang warm. 111 degrees. I'm not a fan of the spectrum on the co-op lights and no app. Yeah, Jeff, I like the apps too. It's really convenient. The apps are nice for sure. The Pro, okay, the Pro is to select settings yourself for an additional cost. Okay. Hey, Whip, thanks for coming in, buddy. Yeah, no, there's no app that I know of. You have to physically go around and program each one of these lights. Hey, Heather. Thanks for coming in. "40 minutes went by and it blinked." Yes, sir. And Whip, keep an eye out, man. I'm going to be starting doing a live stream on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern as well, so I can get everybody that don't like to be up in the mornings and get different crowds. Whip, are you going to make Wisconsin Fish Fam Cookout on August? White lights look better if it actually has multicolored LEDs making the white. Yeah, absolutely. They just make the tanks look a lot better. And I'm going to assume the white lights are better for plant growth. But you got a lot of options in programming that full spectrum, getting that color spectrum for the plants. But I'll be honest with you. I don't have the patience to figure out on each tank what exactly the color spectrum should be and figuring all that out. And that would take years, I would think, to figure that out. Top Fin, believe it or not, did great with their 4-foot, but it's small and not intense enough, not bright enough. Be great for a 33 long. Okay. I'll tell you another light, Tommy, that I'm kind of impressed with is the Aqueon lights. There's no frills with them, no bells, no whistles. They're touch. There's no buttons, there's no remote, there's no controllers. It's right built onto the lights on and off with the moon and the white lights, but that's it. It's on or off, touch. But I have noticed with them lights, they're hella bright, and they have caused algae in my tanks, which is one reason I was so excited Nicro was sending me these lights, because I was able to replace those Aqueons with these lights, and I get fully programmable lights that have inbuilt timers, and I don't have to go to get the timers for them. Well, I'm aware of it, Jeff, but I'm not familiar enough to know if it's an open invite. Not currently. I say that regarding the spectrum of white light. Okay. So is 111 degrees kind of hot for a light? One of these LED light to be sitting at? You guys let me know. The bottom of the chat. It's a little warm, huh, Sketty? I wonder why. Because the other two aren't at like 80 degrees. Tommy, I took the temperature of the RGB and W light they sent me on this tank, and it's at 111 degrees. I tested it with this temp gun, and it's really warm to touch where the other ones aren't. Oh, Janice got a remote with her Aqua. Well, why don't you send me your remote then? I can use it. Well, the ones I got, I couldn't. It's just on or off, no remote. So, Janice. Yeah, Tommy, to physically touch the light, it's real warm. That one's sitting at 111 degrees. Whip, I'm pretty confident you are more than welcome. I will chat with Foxy and see if she can set up some time RSB type thing because I keep pushing it. That's pretty warm. I don't even think my shop lights get that warm. Yeah, man. Harlan, I'm glad Sketty asked about that because I checked. I was like, geez, I think pretty dang warm. If I should, well, I'm just going to make you guys wait till the video reviews come out. Actually, my first review video for the first night crew light I got, the little C10 model for small tanks, that video is coming out. It might be out, I think, 11 o'clock or something. It's set to come out, so keep your eye out on that review. That little light's pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's pretty small. It's designed to go up to 18 inches. That light's only $18.99 to get it from Amazon. And it has a remote and an inline controller. And it's really built for your 5 gallons because it's said to go up to 14 inches, I think it is. 12 to 14 inches or 18. Can't remember. But anyways, it's not really designed to sit on even a 10-gallon tank, but I have found that the little docking legs will spread far enough to sit on a 10-gallon tank, and it illuminates it pretty good. With that light, hey, you wouldn't need a heater. Yeah. Actually, Tommy, I take all the heaters out of my tanks in the summertime because my house regulates all my tanks at about 74 degrees. Right now, since I put the heaters in the winter, some of these tanks are like sitting at 80 degrees, which is a good range. 75 to 80 degrees, good for most tropical fish. But I'll take all the heaters out, and it'll just gradually lower, so it's not going to be a shock to them, which temperature change is good in case, if you want to breed fish or whatever. But I just do it to save money, one less thing to worry about. And so that's my plan here. Once I start warming up a little bit more, I'm going to take my heaters out. I just wish my house would regulate the temperature in the winter, too. I'd never use heaters. I use shop lights on several of my tanks, and I know they get hot enough to screw up the plastic hinges on my glass canopies. Ooh. Whip, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think most people that use shop lights kind of hang them from the ceilings. They don't sit them right on the tanks, and I would love to do that, so I didn't have lights sitting on top of my tanks anymore. Highly encourage people in other states to do the same, especially if you don't have access to a fish club. Yeah, I got to make it to a vet. I think I talked to the wife about it when they do that. I can't remember what show it is they hold in Charlotte. Wizzo went last year. I'd like to make that one this year. So if anybody's going to the Charlotte event, let me know. But yeah, I remove them in the summer too for the tropical tanks. They run 80, 90. Oh, wow, yeah. And 80, 90 degrees. Isn't that a little too warm? There are some fish that like it like that, like your clown loaches. But dang, 90 degrees. No issues? My dry slippers, sir. Mr. Dry Slippers. Wet socks, so he calls them dry slippers. That's funny. Yeah, hang the shop lights. Some are far too bright, even for a 2-foot deep tank. Nah, 90 is fine. I would imagine 90 degrees too, Tommy, would ward off ick. Heavily planted with flow. Okay. I was trying to figure out ways that I could actually make my 125-gallon goldfish tank cooler because obviously I don't put a heater in there at all. I think the lowest I seen it get this winter was 74 degrees. And I already know about the cool do-it-yourself chiller that you can make by using a mini fridge, coiling up garden hose in there and having a pump run through it. Coils in that fridge. So if you can put at least 50 foot of hose coiled up in the mini fridge, it has all that time to cool down and it sends it back to the tank. It's a little DIY way to make a chiller. But somebody said the other thing you can do is put a fan that blows across the top of your tank. The problem I don't like about that is you have to keep it open top. You can't have glass tops. Now, I'd love to have all my tanks with no tops, but the idea of it, I don't like it because, one, it keeps stuff out. It keeps, um, condensation at a minimum. Keeps evaporation rather to a minimum when you have tops, and fish from jumping out. So I was never them guys that just had it in me to not have tops on my tanks. Yes, there are way less issues all around running warmer, except more algae, right? Yeah, and that's one thing I'm always trying to keep in mind, Tommy, is algae. I hate a crap ton of algae, especially BBA. So I try to dim my lights down, because the fish don't really need the lights. They don't care about the lights. The lights are for us. So we don't need these huge, bright freaking lights. I'll dim them down. They feel more comfortable that way. But it's great for your plants. But it also is an algae recipe machine. So I'm always trying to find that good mix because I do have cyanobacteria in some of my tanks. And it's not a flow reason because I got power heads running in all these tanks. I got good filtration. It's like, why? What is with the cyanobacteria? Yeah, they get on my nerves too, man. But I just feel like the pros outweigh the cons having glass. All mine are glass tops. I just feel like the pros outweigh the cons having them. Found fish jerky last night. Ooh, never heard of it. BBA doesn't need much light to grow. Yeah, I see a lot of videos, Tommy, too, and I've seen your videos. It just seems like everybody has a small amount of BBA in their tanks unless you're on top of it and you refuse to let it grow. And if you see a little bit out of it, that plant's out. Or let me clip that off, get it out of there. I don't know how you reduce BBA from growing. Just like any other algae. Why do you have an excess algae? One, your lights are on too long, or there's excess nutrients in the tank, excess phosphates in your tank. Maybe you're not doing enough water changes. I do consistent water changes. I don't clean my tanks to the point they're human clean. I don't suck out I get all the malm and uneaten food and poop that I see, but a lot of times I just let it sit. The fish do end up eating it. I'm not like one of them people that have pristine, crystal clear tanks and everything's got to be perfect and everything's clean and disinfected. But it's like, I cannot keep this BBA. So I think what I'm going to do is go get me like 20 of them Siamese algae eaters and put them in each tank and see if they'll live up their name. I hear they're really good at it, the BBA. Moonlight, okay. Well, even my moonlights, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I leave them on by accident, but, I have them set to turn off at night. Maybe I can dial the percentage down on the blue light. Too much humidity for your house with those tanks. It wouldn't be long-term plus constant top off. You mean if you leave the lids off, Sketty? 90 degrees. I crank my tank up to 86 per father fish to kill off ick. When I get it at 90 degrees, ick will never be a problem for you. Well, too, the warmer your tank is, I believe the less oxygen you have too. But if you long you got flow and you're breaking that surface tension, whether it be with a filter, an air stone, or a power head, it'll be all right. Most of my tanks are open topic, except for the Killies and Shiners. I heard Killies are jumpers, Tommy. Is that true? I plucked the most giant golf ball sized chunk of BBA the other day. So satisfying. I can't pull it off. I mean, some of it falls off in like larger chunks, like you're saying, but even with it sitting on the glass, man, I'm telling you, that stuff is hard to get. When it gets on plants, it's over. It's over. Hey, Melvin, thanks for coming in, buddy. Good to see you, sir. Knock on wood, I haven't had any BBA grow yet. Nah, I seen that one video, Tommy. I seen it back there. You just missed it. I saw it. Back corner over by the lion in that one tank. You got BBA. You got it. I saw it. You can't lie. I saw it. I saw the BBA. You can't. I saw it, Tommy. I saw the BBA. I don't mind BBA. It doesn't grow for me though. Staghorn is what pops up here and there for me. I don't mind the blackbeard algae, Jeff. I just hate when it goes rampant and it takes over plants and kills your dang plants. And you can't pick it off plants. I literally tried taking a plant off, setting it down and taking a razor blade and trying to lightly scrape it off. Still don't come off. Trout goodies. Yeah, I heard that about those as well. Thanks for sharing that, Steve. I mean, even as low natural moonlight, so by the window and there is any light on at all, it's enough. It's a super algae, right? Hey, I hear that algae is good for a lot of health benefits in people. Maybe we can start cultivating it and selling it. I drop pieces of BBA in my tank. They act like it's fish food. You ever put salt in your tanks and they go, oh, what's this? I like when a fish puts food or something in its mouth and it doesn't like it. They're like, I don't do lids. Humidity hasn't been an issue. Yeah, I don't have too much humidity issues either, Boots Cats. But I do lids. Most fish can jump, but yeah, they will jump up. Mine haven't yet that I've seen, but they in a deep tank. Okay. Yeah, but I understand that, Tommy. But some like your arowanas. I was told killifish. There's a few others that will tend to jump out of your dang tank. Like that's just what they do. Like just like in their DNA to jump out of the surface. None of my other fish jump out. The only time my fish will jump kind of out of the surface of the water is when they're eating their food. My CBDs and endlers jump more than my clown killies. CBDs and endlers. You ever have one jump out, Jeff? My angels don't jump. Oh, geez. Would you save them, Tommy? Did he do it when you were there? I don't get BBA, but hair algae has been kicking my butt. You know what I like about hair algae, Boots? You can take your finger. I call it peanut butter algae. It looks like brown hair. I'll go like this and wind that crap up, pulls right out. Spot treat BBA with peroxide. I've had good luck with that. All right, Robert, I've heard about that. I was actually talking about that with Dan over at Everyday Fish Keeping. He recommends not using peroxide, but there's so many people. There's people out there that religiously use peroxide as part of their maintenance, and they'll pour it right in the water. Like once every 2 weeks or once a month, they'll just throw it in because once peroxide hits water, it just turns to pure oxygen. But yeah, I've heard of people using peroxide to directly put, like you say, spot it on right on plants. My killie tank has glass lid, but the other two ones are netted. One has holes drilled in it for aquaponic cups. Okay. That's something I want to do too, Tommy. I want to start growing some like stuff out of some of my fish tanks, like strawberries and potatoes. The girl I had up on a few streams back that I got this 125 gallon goldfish tank, she was growing potatoes out of hers. But we talked about that, Tommy. I didn't know how safe it would be to because I use Prime as a dechlorinator because I use tap water here when my water changes. And, I use Vitachem for the fish. How healthy would it be to grow something out of a fish tank when you use chemicals product for human consumption? We talked about that. I don't know if it's conducive for me to grow anything. Not a clown killie. The only thing I hate about Liz is the black strip on the hinge. Yeah, me too. The algae will grow under those and it blocks some of the light. But there's a trick for that, Janice. I don't know if you've seen it. You can make some DIY sliding lids. You just go to Lowe's and get that like J channel, the plastic vinyl strips that you use to put around like siding on your house. You cut them to fit, and then you can take your glass tops out of your hinge, and you literally can make it slide back and forth instead of hinge open, which eliminates your hinge. I've been wrapping around my plants, such a pain to pull. Yeah. And I don't know. Do plecos like eating the hair algae? You might be able to take it and give it to a pleco. I've had too many fish go walkabout just leaving the lid open after a feeding. No way would I ever go without a lid. Plus, like Sketty said, we just short of 1,000 gallons in a basement. And you know what else, Whip? What was I going to say about that? Most of us have aquarium lights that need to sit on top of a lid, unless you have the shop lights or whatever hanging from the ceiling. I have to have lids for my lights. Yeah, I was gone. Saw her in a few minutes later, covered in dog hairs. Gave her an RO dip, was 79.82 water. Put her back in. She's still alive. That happened to me with a tiger barb, Tommy. I was soaking him in Epsom salt because he was bloated up and he had some fungal issues, which, by the way, healed him. But I had left and came back. Maybe I had 2 of them in there, and I came back maybe 6 minutes later, and I looked in the bucket, and there's only one. I'm looking around. He was on the floor right over here in this room I'm in now on a rug, and he had dog hair covered on him, and I just put him back in the tank. Luckily, he recovered, and he's fine. I'm just so glad that when I walked in here, I didn't step on him. I don't want to deal with the evaporation of mold down there. Yeah, you could always run a dehumidifier. But again, more on the electric bill if you don't need it. I miss having a basement. I'm jealous of you guys. Lettuce does well, tomatoes, but roots will fight for the nutrients. So you can cause either the veg or the aqua plants to die back, being outcompeted. Okay, so they'll outcompete your regular aquarium plants, Tommy? Oh, yeah. Good reminder, Whip. So find shallow rooting veggies to start with. Well, what would that be? Nightshades like tomatoes and potatoes root like crazy. They'll outcompete the entire tank for nutrients. Okay. Hey, there he is. Happy place. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming in. Dude just got back from a nice vacation. Didn't invite any of us or me. Still hurt by that. Yes, I miss my basement when I lived up in PA. I wish I was in the aquarium. Well, it's probably a good thing because I didn't have to move them all, but I had nice basements and houses up there. I'd love to set up a fish room, but I do have a garage. I'd love to convert over to my fish room and get all my tanks out of the dining room. Then my wife can have her dining room back. And to be honest with you, if I was able to start setting up my garage to turn it into a fish room, I would probably go with the old concrete blocks and boards. Those tanks are sturdy. You can double stack tanks on those. They're cheap to make. You're not building a wood stand, buying the stands anymore. The only thing you do lose is the storage and the cabinets. But if you have a fish room you're making, you really don't need that anymore. I would love to just go wall to wall in my garage and put all my tanks around there. But I had some work I'd have to do there. I'd have to install some more outlets, which I can do myself. And I'd have to get some run the warm and hot and cold water lines in there to a sink. And it would have to be heated and cooled, because right now it's not heated and cooled in the garage. Because I want that room I don't want to use heaters. I want to heat the room. Hello, everyone. Happy. Walking to Scotty's Club's Fish Swap. Have a great day, everyone. Okay, Big Steve, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Make sure you put a video out on those plecos that you're getting. Well, you can take that up with the owner of my company. Yes, I will. Spinach. All right. I'd probably go with spinach then, Tommy. We like spinach in this house. Superfood. Good for you. We like spinach. So that's probably what we want to try. But is it conducive to a tank that uses products like I was asking earlier? I use Prime. you know. Sometimes on the occasion I'll use Seachem Stability when I need it. Sometimes I run salts in my tanks when I need it. Um, Maybe you add a meta tank. Now, if I am forced to med one of my big display tanks, I will put carbon in the filter to pull it out and can in conjunction with water changes. But you get the idea. We've talked about it before. Is it safe to grow vegetables for human consumption in tanks that you use product in? Just put the roots in, especially with onions. I understand, yeah. Just the same thing you would do with like potted plants. It's looking more and more like I won't have a basement in Tennessee. So the dream is to build a fish barn shed like small version of KG Tropical's fish house. I'll tell you what, Whip, you know what you want to do? You know how people are, you know those containers that are on like ships that go overseas? They're on the back of big trucks. That's how they deliver them to the ships. The big metal containers. I want to get one of those so I can take everything out of my garage to store it in there in one of those metal containers, shipping containers. People are making sheds out of those, pools out of those. If you're better off spending $5,000-$6,000 on one of those metal containers to make your fish room than going out to buy one of those sheds at Lowe's or whatever, because half the time those sheds are more money. They're the way they build these things now, the quality of these are terrible. They're using OSB floors, things like that go to crap fast. They're not that sturdy. You're better off putting $5-6 in one of the metal containers, having it delivered, level it, set it down, put your electricity in it. You can even insulate it if you want to, if you have to. That's the way to go. That's up to you. The plants are absorbing. Right, exactly. That's my thoughts. I'm just wondering if it's safe to do that. Some absorb heavy metals too, like duckweed, for example, can absorb massive amounts of metals. Oh, wow, that's cool. I always hear so many horror stories about duckweed. I've never got it. I stay away from it. Container your fish room. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Tommy, you know what I'm talking about. The metal shipping containers. I've seen people making pools out of them things. Sheds. They're metal. They last longer. You got to paint it and take care of it because they can rust. But as long as you take care of it, some people will put a roof over top of them. You can, if you look, you can find a nice size one of them things for like $5,000-$6,000 delivered, and it's going to last a heck of a lot longer than pre-made sheds. That's what I want my husband to do. Currently, a trailer holds garage stuff. Okay, Sketty. Yeah, I would. That's what we want to do. If I can get a hold of one of those, I'd get rid of this piece of crap one in the back corner, and then I could store my jacked up golf cart in there, my mower and everything, all my tools, move everything out of the garage and put in there, and then I can make my garage a fish room. I'd probably get one of those Mr. Cool heating and cooling units like John got at KG Tropicals hanging on the wall to heat and cool it. And I would have to reseal my garage door a little bit, but then I could go to town in there. And the only worry, the biggest thing on my mind about having all my tanks in my house is what if there is a leak? Now I do have the canister filters, but I got totes under all them. But what if one of these things sprang a leak? Now it's in your house where it can actually cause some damage. Out in my garage is already finished. It's got the finished ceiling, the walls, but what's nice is it's brick up until the drywall starts. So I've got like 6-7 inches of brick before it hits the drywall walls. So even if there was a leak in there, who cares? Big deal. It's a little bit tapered. It's all concrete. See ya. Not a big deal. Way less stress. So, and plus my wife gets her dining room back. So really would love to be able to convert my garage into my fish room. The only thing I don't like about that is I like using my garage to park my car in. My car would have to park outside then. You'd think it is as safe as buying a non-organic veggie from the stores, but I haven't looked into that side to really know what all chemicals are in aqua products. Some ingredients are hard to find. You told me, and I was talking about organic foods. I heard they're really not any better for you than your regular vegetables and stuff because these people are still using pesticides to spray that you eat, unless you're growing them yourself at your house. But I know you know about that stuff, so I was always, that's what they say. So, so there's so much uptick in health problems now because all these pesticides and hormones that people use to grow food as fast as they can and keep the bugs off of them. All your veggies and your plants are absorbing that crap too. By side, I mean, I haven't looked into non-organic, but yeah, I grow it here or buy local from farms. Okay. I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Keep an eye on my bonus for me. Give me 3 minutes. All right, back. I've had 2 cups of coffee already, and it goes right through me. We have several farms around here that are like-minded to me. I would if I was single, but my wife will never go for something like that. She's going to make me have to Amish build a shed if we can swing it financially, so it's not an eyesore. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, Whip, I understand that, man, for sure. You got to have the spouse on board with these decisions too. But just so you understand, if it's because of looks, you can paint them, man. Some people will even take like fence posts or T111 and box it in, so it looks like a nicer shed, and you can just paint them any color you want and dress them up a little bit, and they look really nice. Plus, they got the double swinging doors, which would be ideal for taking fish tanks in and out. They even weed spray the fence lines with vinegar and natural, all nice, before neighbors have a chance to spray. Very cool. That's great. We use a lot of vinegar for a lot of things around here too. I'm shocked that hasn't happened to me yet with one of my streams. Hopefully, as I need to pee. Man, coffee goes through me. I peed before I started. The nice thing about the shipping container is you can load them from the middle towards each end, then open either end and access stuff without having to go to the back. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get one. But GMO that take a resistant food plant and mixes it with non-resistant one is considered bad by consumers. GMO that take a resistant food plant and mixes it with a non-resistant one is considered bad by consumers. Okay. And welcome, Kara. Thanks for coming in. You can drive an ATV one side now. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get one. I want to get me a nice one. I also want to bury a shipping container for a root storm. Yeah, and people are using them for that, Tommy. There's multiple uses for these things. But before you put it in the ground, you got to make sure that you you cover the outside with some kind of rust preventative or protection, whether it be like you could probably rhino line one instead of painting it. Just cover it in rhino liner and then put her in the ground. Been lurking a while, drinking coffee and watching how we work on my truck. Wow, nice. I'm glad you're watching. I appreciate you. Oh, trust me, I think it would be great. I just don't think I'd be able to sell her on it. I got you on that. But WIP, even if you want to build your own, like I built my 12 by 12 screened-in enclosure back here myself. This was right before the inflation. It was like $2,500, $3,000. If I tried to build another one of those today, you can double the price. So if you can buy a shipping container and make it look pretty for $5,000 to $6,000, you're probably going to come out cheaper in the end, depending on how much they're going to cost you to deliver it and set it. We've tried wood; they collapse cause of the clay. Drying and heavy 3 to 6 inch wide cracks we get in the ground, so the container should hold up. Right. Hey, Fernando. Yes, sir. This is live. Thanks for coming in. Deep cracks, too. That's not all GMO. Some of the nightmare side of it. That's why I just stay away. But, yeah, if you profit a plant, that's technically a GMO. I'm not sure I'd want to store anything with gas in the fish room. Yeah, you get some nasty fumes there. You ever have a gas can, whether it be on a cold concrete floor or in a shed that's warm? The gas and fumes suck that container in like smashing a tin can like it's nothing till you release that pressure. Absolutely, Sketty. Especially if you take a little extra steps and do some rust preventative and some kind of, whether it be paint or whatever. Everyone is scared of everything nowadays. On shipping containers, make sure your neighborhood and city, county, etc. allows them. My neighborhood is not an HOA or city limits, but county says no. Okay, Kara, that's good information. Definitely have to check. I don't have an HOA either, but I would imagine as long as if they allow it, you're going to pay property taxes on it anyway. I don't know what it is here, but I know in PA, if you build anything that's over 10 by 10, you have to start paying property taxes on it. Resistant trees are a huge problem. They grow much stringier branches that fall more regularly, and these trees planted in the cities and along urban main streets. With them, containers are huge. You can put up a wall. Yeah, you could do that. You could make one half, depending on how big you get, one half your fish room, one half your shed, man. Whereas the non-intervened versions grown from seed grow much better for the branches. Okay. This is all new stuff to me, so that's why I like talking to you, Tommy. I learn a lot. Shed on one side, fishy fun on the other. Right. Caught back up. I got a buddy that's out. Put 4 containers together and is building a house on them. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big project right there. A lot of uses for them for sure. So how about Kara? WIP, if WIP is still in here, when is the last time you actually took time to sit down and relax and watch your fish and enjoy your fish for the reason we keep fish? Is life too busy for you, or do you make time to go down and enjoy your fish tanks and watch them and observe your fish? That was kind of like the subject of the stream. And with more people coming in, I was just curious where everybody's at on that. And does everything sound okay, by the way, still? AV good, mainly audio. I have one of those Panasonic Tough Books, like the cops use for work, and I just cleaned the heck out of this with Lysol wipes. I shut it off, took Lysol wipes and a toothbrush, and really got in all the keys and everything, and cleaned it up and dried it off. And I turned it on. Everything's working. This morning I come out, and the keyboard doesn't want to work. I tried resetting. The keyboards don't want to work. It's like not recognizing keyboard input on any key. So I had to real quick Bluetooth this Bluetooth keyboard. Does anybody have experience with this? How do I did I accidentally lock? I know number lock's not on. How can I check to see if my keyboard's locked out? Maybe I pressed something when I was cleaning. I don't know. But I absolutely have to do real hard, thorough cleanings with stuff like those things. Because with what I do, it gets highly greasy and all kind of crap on it. That's a good point, too. I'll have to check. The property I bought does have a covenant that has weird restrictions and requirements. I'd have to check to see if I can even consider it. Yep. AV and audio good. Thank you, Janice. I don't get much time to sit and zone out to my tanks. Too much going on around the house and with family. Yeah, absolutely, Kara. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And that's why I like to ask everybody, do they really get to sit down and enjoy the hobby and enjoy the fish? I think I'm safe because it's not working to hit all buttons. So let's try it. Like right now, I'm just touching every button. And as you can see, nothing's happening. Nothing's changing on the stream. They're just not working. After I cleaned it yesterday and dried it out, they were working. They didn't stop working. They stopped working throughout the night into this morning. I don't know what happened. The keyboard, the mouse pad and the buttons for the mouse work. It's just the keyboard alone. I wonder if I accidentally just got maybe too much. I wring the Lysol wipes out. It's not like I put them on there dripping wet, but I'm wondering if I got maybe too much solution down in there and maybe fried the dang circuitry out or something. So what's everybody getting into on this Saturday? I have to take my daughter to horseback riding lessons today and tomorrow. So, yes, I think at 11 o'clock, I have scheduled my first review on my first night crew light coming out. Don't forget to check that video out. Check out that light. Let me know what you think on that. And then through the week, like I'll just do like one a week. I'll pick another light, share my opinions on that, show you how they work. And so every week I'll do one review video on each light. And that's going to look good. I'm impressed with the way they look. I love, like that one's pretty bright though on that 75-gallon and Jack Dempsey tank, that South American tank. So I'm going to have to get in there and adjust the percentages on those white lights, bring them down a little bit. Wet Sox is going to a hockey game. Cool. I have the time. I've never been so busy that I can't enjoy them for what they are. Like I said before, after the kid died, I sort of shut down for a good while, and the fish really struggled as I worked. Oh, I get you on that whip for sure, man. Absolutely. I think anybody would. Did you find that having the fish tank help you through that hard time? Through that mess? But in the end, they really helped me because, oh, you already answered it. Sorry. They really helped me. They gave me purpose. I had to clean them, and that helped me get out of my own head. I always have time for them. Exactly. It gives you something to do, get your mind off it, out of it. You know what they say, too much of anything is a bad thing, right? And that goes with even our own minds and our own thoughts. You got to keep busy. You got to keep yourself functioning. You got to do stuff. That's why it goes hand in hand with what I said about retiring. I could never retire. I just wouldn't work for me. It sounds boring to me. I get on my wife's nerves, my kids' nerves, myself. I get sick of myself. If you can't keep yourself busy, what is there? You got to keep busy. And the day you sit down and put the blanket over your lap and sit in the chair and just watch TV and chill all day is the day you're going to die early, because you're not moving, you're not exercising, you're not keeping your mind busy. You got to keep yourself positive in any and everything that you do. Just like these YouTubers that hit it big now, they're working, they're busy. It takes a lot of time to edit high quality videos and put it out there. But I just can't imagine sitting on my butt hours and hours and hours and hours in front of a screen. I have to stretch. I have to move. I have to go take an axe and freaking chop a tree down or something. That's right. You got to keep the blood flowing for sure. You got to keep moving. I had an 80-year-old guy when I lived in PA. He was 84 at the time or something like that, and he needed his camp along the Allegheny River. He needed his roof redone. Well, we were all getting together, a bunch of us, and we were going to go down there and start stripping his roof and shingling it. He's an old retired cop. We get down there, he's up on his roof stripping the shingles. Get down from there. God, we're coming. You're so impatient. We get him down, and I'm talking to him. I said, Henry, we were coming, man. You're going to get hurt up there. And he looked at me right in the eye, and he was one of them hard fellows. And he goes, let me tell you something, son. The day you sit still is the day you die. You always got to keep moving. 84 years old, up on top of his roof, stripping shingles. He did die of a heart attack or something like that years and years after that. Maybe approaching 90 when he passed. He might have been in his 90s, but you got to keep moving. Oh, man. So one thing I noticed about, I read and heard different people talking about, like, once you hit 1,000 subscribers, it gets easier. It seems like you start getting more subscribers. The hard part is first starting, getting out of them hundreds and getting to that 1,000 mark. Well, for me, I noticed that to reign true. A month ago, I hit 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe a month went by already. But the last I checked, let's look. I am now up to 1,492 subscribers. I have almost gained 500 more subscribers from a month ago. And I can't tell you how happy I am. I love it. Love it. It makes me super excited. I appreciate everybody in here who has supported me and helped get me up here. All you guys who keep coming and hanging out with me and supporting me, and everyone else that's coming in. It's a massive thank you. I'm loving it. My aunt went to the gym in her 90s. In her 80s, she would ride her bike 20 miles a day. Yes, absolutely, Skitty. I was driving one time, and I saw this little old lady who couldn't even stand up. She was hunched over. She looked like she was every bit of 90, and she's dragging 2 garbage cans to the road by herself because imagine husband died years ago or whatever, still going. Thanks. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Janice. Thanks, Getty. That's how I hope to go out, doing something stupid and fun, preferably in my 90s. Yeah, Whip. Exactly, man. Yeah, doing something cool, doing something stupid you shouldn't be doing or whatever. I just saw my blood parrot chasing one of them Pictus catfish. Skiing in the Alps with the wind and the cold ice hit me in the face as I eat a Klondike or a York peppermint patty. Let me see. Somebody sent me something. A buddy of mine sent me a Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley, man. He was funny. So yes, keep your bodies moving and spend some time with your fish tanks. Spend your time enjoying the hobby when you can. I know we're all busy, but let's not forget as we go forward, whether you're a content creator or you have a channel and you have multiple tanks. I don't care if you have one or two tanks, but life gets busy. And I say this because I don't want the fish keeping hobby to turn into a chore or it to be a chore. It should never be a chore for anybody. It should be enjoyment, having fun. Sit down, watch your fish, enjoy your fish, which is also great because you can observe them. You can see if there's any issues, as well as relaxing you. It's very easy to let that go on the wayside and forget why we started this hobby. Even when you're busy, if you have 5 minutes, just sit down on a chair and just watch them bring you down, relax you, reduce stress. Don't forget to do those things. Oh, there's that little Cory cat. I thought he died, man. He's still getting going. He's an old man. Look at him going. Oh, yeah, I'm getting hungry. You guys hungry? So does anybody have anything new that they're going to be doing with their fish room or their fish tanks? Any future plans that you're excited about? Getting a new tank? Something like that? I think Paul said Paul wants to get some more cichlids. Paul wants to get some booness. Kitty, I've never been to a fish swap. I don't even know around my local community who does that. The only one I know of is that big event they do in Charlotte. Yeah, same for me and my wife, Janice. I wish she enjoyed it. She likes to come in. She'll check the tanks out every morning. She has her favorite fish, but she's just not into it as much. But that Cory cat, he's getting me going today. Getting all up in the angelfish's face, flipping around. Crazy dude. I have some Narite snails in my 125 gallon goldfish tank, Sketty. They came with it. They're still kicking. Some of them have died, but they're in there. I went to this one last year. Okay. So what do you do, Sketty? How's that work? You just bring some fish with you and you just want to maybe swap your fish for someone else's fish, make deals, or can you just go there and straight up buy them? I'm assuming you can go there and buy them as well. I've never been to a fish swap. My husband does not enjoy the worry of the tanks. You know what, Sketty, and as you know, as time goes by, you don't worry as much about it once they're set up and they're established and you know what you're doing and you got a routine down. You really don't fuss about them too much anymore. I wish you could find a fish club in my area. Yeah, I got to do some research, Janice, and see what they got around here. I've never looked into it. There's plenty of people into it in my area, so you never know. I wish you take cash. Okay. I'm not getting anything new, but I am in the long process of moving tanks around and restocking and separating fish by continent. Okay, cool. So what are you going to do with so you're going to just make your tanks specific to the type of fish and where they're from? Like say, this is going to be your South American tank. This is going to be your African tank. Is that what you're doing? Hey, Razin, thanks for coming in. Good to see you. No worries about being late. We're just hanging out, talking, having fun. Back's giving me an issue this morning, but yes, I am working on a new to me used 125 that I built a stand for. I'm now working on resealing. Oh, cool, man. Very cool. You're like me. All my tanks are used. I don't buy nothing new. I'll find a used tank and I'll ask them if it leaks. And if they say no, I'll ask them to fill it up so I can see. If they're not, if it looks like, I'll go look at it and it'll be fine. I'll take it home and I'll fill it up and let water sit in it for a day and make sure it doesn't leak. And if it's good, I just leave that water in there. I throw in some bleach, disinfect, clean, rinse it well, and let it fully dry. And I put it to work. Yeah, Whip, you've been going live a lot more lately and doing more videos and stuff. And we had that discussion, and it's good to see you. I like seeing you up there in the field. I like to call it out in the YouTube field more often. I was watching a video this morning from Boss Aquatics. He's redoing his basement fish room, and he was building he does the cinder block 2x4 stands. He paints his cinder blocks black. Well, in the video, he showed him setting up his cinder block stand, and he had all the cinder blocks lined up exactly the same. But in that middle row, he had to add another set. He had one opposite, and I was like, no. I commented, you got to turn that the other way. His reply was, OCD much? But come on, man. You got all the cinder blocks the same way in that one at the very top. You can't just give it a 180. Ugh. Yeah, not a biotope or even a biotope or anything, just species from or close to that continent. I'll probably give Central America their own tank, even though it's not technically a continent. I got you on that, Whip. Yeah. I do kind of have a South American tank with the Jack Dempsey, but that's a good question for you guys. What do you like better? Do you like South American cichlids more than African, or vice versa? Because your angelfish, your Oscars, your Jack Dempsey, these are South American cichlids. And then you get your mbunas, cause your peacocks and haps, your Africans. Which ones do you guys like better? I'm kind of on the side of resealing only used tanks, as I just don't know how old the tanks are. I'm kind of on the side of resealing any used tank. You know what? I thought about that too, Razin, but I've gotten, and knock on glass here, but all the used tanks I've gotten, I didn't reseal them if they weren't leaking. And I know John at KG Tropicals did a video about that, and he's never worried about it either. And all his tanks are still going on strong with no issues. Again, that's relative to every situation, but I've had good luck so far. So hit me with it. South American versus African cichlids. Which ones do you guys like better? Which category has more of the fish that you like? Do you like your angels? Do you like your Oscars? Do you like your mbunas, your peacocks, your haps? I like them both. Okay. What do you got, Raz? Am I saying that right? Razin? Or is it raisin? What kind of South Americans do you have? Paul likes his Africans. Yeah, we've discussed. He likes his Africans and Boonas and such. I'd love to have a shell dweller tank, but my water is too soft. You know, Janice, that's something I've never worried about. And I might be wrong. I don't know. But certain fish need a certain acidity in the water, the right pHs. I've always taken temperature into consideration, but I've never cared about pH. I assimilate them to my tanks by a drip, and then I put them in. And then I just do my water changes all around in all my tanks. And I've never worried about making the hardness or the pH exact to what they say that fish needs. And I've never really had a problem. My 210 was new when I bought it. Everything else I have is used. I haven't resealed any of them, but I do fill them in the garage and let them sit for a month to make sure it's not going to leak. Yeah, I just fill them up, see how it goes, type of thing. I don't go a month. I think I go one day. The longest I went to 2 days. But I guess maybe I should give it longer. Maybe give that time, that water to find them cracks in that silicone. Maybe a week would suffice. Shell dwellers are cool, Janice, too. I'd love to have that setup that Prime Time has with that 50-gallon low boy with the shell dwellers in there. But is it very important that the shell dwellers do need to have the pH that there is in their DNA? Or like any other fish, will they adapt? Will they get used to it? If your water is too hard and not soft enough. Oscars, Sebrums, your anus. Just kidding. Yours. Silver dollars, angelfish, geophagus, rainbows, denison barbs, tetras, neons, emperor gudgeons. Cool. Silver dollars. Speaking of silver dollars, is a fish I've been wanting to get. My wife doesn't like them because they remind her, because they kind of look like a piranha, and she don't like that piranha face. But I like them silver dollars, man. They get big. And I think they recommend at least a school of 4 with them. But from what I understand, if they get to their full size, like a 125 gallon with 4 silver dollars, really technically isn't big enough for them if they hit their full potential. I seen that one tinfoil barb on that video that OFR put out when Ben Ochart went to visit them. That thing was massive. Huge. And if you don't know why, if you don't research it, it can trick you, man. Like, oh, a tinfoil barb. I like barbs. They're cool. See him at PetSmart. He's this big. Next thing you know, that bad boy can get like this. I'd have to go to South America because the Oscar is my favorite fish. Yeah, they are awesome. They're big. I think the bigger fish you have, the less issues you have. I like my Oscars too. It's tougher. It's a loaded question, I know. It's tougher answer than I thought because the Jaguar and Salvini are amazing too, but I also like arowana and black ghost knifefish come from South America. Arowana is another fish I want, but I would need to get my much bigger fish tank before that can happen, obviously. He changed the low boy, Jesse. No shell dwellers in there anymore. I don't. I think I remember him saying something about changing that, Janice. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch much Primetime Aquatics. Not that I don't like him. He's a great dude. Like him a lot. I just don't find myself on his streams or his videos too much. I mainly like to watch KG Tropicals, Benno chart for the bigger ones. And I do enjoy watching Aquarium Dominion. I love what he does over there. It's very interesting seeing them big tanks and how he builds them. And he's a very personal guy. But Prime Times is not one I really watch religiously. DIY King is another guy I really don't watch that much. Did you see the Doveye they got in the other day? That thing was massive. No, I didn't catch that whip. I did watch his live stream real shortly. Yes, last night I think it was on, wasn't he? I watched him a little bit, but I did not see that. It's amazing how big. I'd love to have one of his big tanks whipped. Like, my goal is, when I say, if I can, when I can, the last aquarium I'll ever get will be a monster tank. And that, in my eyes, is a 300 or a 500 gallon tank. Now, obviously, if I found a deal that I couldn't pass up on a larger tank, I'd be all over it, because I want one more aquarium, and it is going to be a monster tank. But that tank would have to go out. I mean, I can put it in the house, but it's going to take up a lot of room. I want to have all my fish tanks together, so that would be after I can convert the garage over to a fish room, and that'd have that big boy in there. But I would love to just have one of those tanks whipped. Yeah, Janice, me too. That's pretty enjoyable that they got together and did that. I do like I'm subscribed to their new podcast channel. I like the things they discuss. They really go in depth with certain things. You know, how many times have we seen videos about filters, air stones, pumps, whatever the case may be? They do a podcast about it, and they mention things you wouldn't even think about when you're comparing filters and stuff. Hey, Shamu, good to see you, buddy. Well, I mean, good morning, 240. I call Shamu 240 now. He's always flexing his 240-gallon muscles. He just got a big tank. Love it, though. Really awesome. Janice, you have to message me on Messenger. So, Janice, let's try this again. All right, Janice. Now, look, I'm going to put a different email in the chat. I want you to send me your address on that one, okay? Screenshot that one, Janice. And let me know once you have done so. And then send me your address on that so I can send you out your giveaway you won. And after Janice does that, did you screenshot it, Janice? I will probably go ahead and end the live stream here and jump off, because I do have to get things taken care of before I take my daughter to her horseback riding lessons. I certainly appreciate everybody coming in here. Don't forget, I am doing a second live stream during the week. That will be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm trying to get a different group of people to come in and hopefully still see you guys there as well. It'll be just kind of like the same thing now, except on that one, it's more geared towards bringing people up. If they want to come up, I'll put the link in the chat. Anybody can tap that link and come join me and show off their tanks. That's what Tuesday's live stream is going to be more geared towards, whereas this one's just going to go towards me picking a subject and talking and hanging out and just me up here. So check that out for Tuesday. Excuse me. If you guys haven't already, make sure you tap the bell on my channel for you get all the notifications, or just the ones you want, so you know when I go live. The channel is on its way up. As you see on this ticker going across the bottom of the screen, the bigger this channel gets, when I do my giveaways, the better those giveaways are going to be. So if I get larger and vendors want to send me some items to review as you get bigger and you're monetized, companies are more apt to send you higher quality things to try out and review, keep, or give away. If I can actually start making money doing this a little bit, my giveaways are going to be a lot bigger, and I need your help to do that. The more subscribers, the more shares, the more you help me get my information out, the more watch time hours I get, obviously, the bigger these giveaways, the better these giveaways are going to get. So like, I'd have no problem giving away a canister filter and sending it to you guys during a giveaway. That's where I want to get. These little sample packets of food and stuff, that's for the birds. I want to give away awesome, valuable gifts as I give back to you guys for helping me. So you're Jesse, LOL. When I watch live streams, some of these dudes call people by their real live names. Yep, I'm Jesse. Yeah, well, I always call people by their on-screen names, but once you get used to everybody, it's just easier to say their names, and it's more personable. All right, cool, Janice. All right, guys, with that said, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to take care of some business. Catch me Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Check out my night crew video that came out. I think it's coming out at 11 on the first review for that night crew light, the C10. It should be out there. Certainly appreciate you guys' time coming in and hanging out with me. Be safe for the rest of your weekend. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you out in the field. I call that the YouTube field. So you're all great. Thank you all.